The big race on the Wednesday, and maybe the race that the general public are potentially looking forward to the most of the whole of the Cheltenham Festival, is the Queen Mother Champion Chase, and what a renewal we've got. I could go all the way down the card, but I'll concentrate on the front three because it is a very special front three we've got together. We've got Altior and Defi de Seuil as 2-1 joint favourites. Chacun is 11-4, Apploutard at 12, Min at 14, under Seuil, Politolo, Dynamite Dollars, Go Royale. But what a race. The Altior's one of the best horses of all time. He's 5 from 5 at Cheltenham, 18 of his last 19 races. He's won Runner Supreme and Arc or Queen Mother. Defi won the Triumph. Things went wrong for him slightly, but he's come back. He's won a Tingle, he's won a Clarence House. And then you've got the baby who's looking to show the world that he's the next big thing of Chacun. It really is an amazing way of looking at three horses, like the tried and tested great. The horse is nearly getting there in Defi, and the horse that wants to get there in Chacun. And I think that's what makes it an exceptional race. Dickie, we'll kick off with you. Tell us how good Defi de Seuil is and how good he can be.
Well, look, he is very, very good. Obviously, I had a dream ride on him in the Triumph Hurdle. He travelled and jumped, and he was fantastic. He wasn't, he was sick the following year, and he ran twice, and he was very sick, and I think lucky enough, he actually only ran twice. They brought him back novice chasing last year, and it took him 2 or 3 runs to just get that confidence back again. And I think he's a horse that's really, his confidence has got better and better. He's always jumped well, but he's getting quicker and slicker. Again, he's won the Triumph Hurdle. Guarantee he would get further if they needed to, but I think in the Champion Chase you need to stay more than 2. Obviously he's the one I'd want to ride. I just think his race at Ascot the last day, I was visually really impressed with him, and the way he jumped second last and put the race to bed was very, very good. And you could say the other horses perhaps didn't perform, but I still think he's on the upward curve. Altior's absolute legend, without any question of but he had a very hard race that Thursday at Ascot, and I think it did leave his mark on him. And whether Nicky Henson, brilliant trainer, but it's whether that he got that confidence back at Newbury the last day, whether that's enough to go and win another Champion Chase. And the other horse that beat Defi, when I rode Defi at Punchestown last year, this is the horse that beat me, Chacun. Like, there was no excuses that day. We both jumped great. I thought I'd definitely win at second last.
Really?
I got upsized Robbie Power and literally it took off, and he couldn't pull it up. Literally, we went past the winning post, up to the next fence, up the hill, and he was tanking off with him. So out of all the three, well, I'm most worried about Chacun because I just don't think we've really seen the best of him. Davy will know more, but whether he wants better ground, I'm not sure. But if Willie has trained him for this race, I just think he just could be improving again.
Davy, go on.
You have to agree with everything Richard said. I'm just a Defi de Seuil fan. I've loved him since the first. I think Foss Lass was his first win, and it was brilliant. He's jumping so good. He's a young gun coming up. He stays a little bit further. But I rode in the race that Chacun won in Leopardstown, and he's so deceivingly quick. He's unbelievably quick. He looks like a big 3-mile chaser, but he's got loads of speed. Altior, he just deceives you that he's going nowhere, and all of a sudden he just puts it to bed and wins easy in his races. This is without doubt his toughest task ever. So, but I'm just can't get away from Defi de Seuil. I just really enjoy him. I think he's a fantastic horse.
Bill, I can't really remember JP having a runner in the Arkle in recent years. Can you?
Champion Chase.
In Champion Chase. In Champion Chase, sorry.
Yeah, Ux is on
flagship. He bought flagship, and I'm sure. Well, he's obviously had quite a few, but he's probably not had a
in recent years.
Yeah. I mean, what a race this is. Yeah. I mean, this really is the race of the festival.
It shows how good it is that if we've had a horse that's won 19 of his last 20 races, and you're betting 11 or 4 of the 3 of them. Well,
we've had in the last 5, 6, 7 years, we've had some uncompetitive Champion Chases on paper. Yeah. And now, Davy touched on this being the real test for Altior. I don't like the running style. I know he's a wonderful horse, but it makes me very uncomfortable that because he looks beat and then he suddenly gets past inferior horses. This time round, if he's struggling and hitting that flat spot, he's going to have to try and get past the likes of Defi and Chacun, and they may have gone. They may be gone without recall. I mean, last year's race, and this was before all the Ascot race with surname or whatever. Last year's race, he got to the lead, and then Seuil jumped back in front at the last, went a length in front of him, and he still had to do it the hard way, and he got back
still
up.
did it.
But he still did it, but it was a three-way drive to the line, and you would never, backers of him at short prices were uncomfortable.
For me, it's a three-way drive to a quarter of a furlong out.
Yeah,
and then he
gets away from them.
He takes 3 lengths out of everything. It's that bit there and if you watch the newbie race, if you just flick the TV on and there was a quarter of a furlong to go, you just sort of go, see ya. It looked like the old Altior to me, that final burst that put it to bed.
You flick it back to the third last and you're saying, Altior is not...
It's not in the frame, it's not in the frame. I mean, I would say, I agree with Davy, I would definitely be in the Defi de Seuil camp. When I first got into racing, you used to look for 2.5 milers that were dropping back in trip and had that class edge. He goes on the ground. The ground's a plus for him rather than a negative. If it turns up soft, which it's bound to, I think he ticks loads of boxes. The softer it is, the more you ask question marks about Chacun, because all his best bits of form have been on better ground. He's also never been to Cheltenham, which is a negative in the back of my mind. Defi had that great bit of form. He's won a Triumph. He's got the form with Lost in Translation from last year. All the boxes are ticked. I just would side with Defi in this kind of three-way match. I also, just as a random, would throw, I think Seuil is a massive price at 33.40 to 1. What normally happens when you set up these matches in horse racing, someone spoils the party and hits the frame in amongst them because someone disappoints.
Money for third,
well, I just think he was the last one off the bridle in the race last year, and he was the last off the bridle at Ascot last time, Newbury with...
the same goes with Dynamite Dollars. People are saying they'll cut each other's throats up front and there's one that can come through and pick up some place.
He just might hit the frame, but I'd definitely be Defi de Seuil.
The Defi loving going down here.
Yeah, and I'm the same. Unfortunately, I'm not going to change tune. I can't see anything out of the first three, the betting winning it. And I just think out of the three, like you say, Altior, tactically when he comes down the hill, if he does hit that flat spot, I don't think he'll get away with it like he did at Newbury. Those other two could be gone. I do appreciate he's still got that class, he's still got that talent that he can hit the turbos, but whether he leaves it a little bit too late, Defi de Seuil, he's going to be a thorough stare over this trip, having ran him a 2.5 mile novice last year, and the Triumph hurdlers often turn out to be stairs, don't they? I think he's got the form in the book this year over here, Tingle Creek, etc. I think his form's rock solid, and he's probably got less questions to answer than Altior and Chacun. So boring.
4 Defis, 1 Altior. I'll tell you what, if Altior beats Defi in a driving finish and takes 3 legs out of him with a quarter of a furlong to go, I will be watching this video back year after year.
If you're going to back Altior, backing him running.
Yeah, well, I think the one thing you've learned is that you should all be backing Chacun. Right? But look, what a race the Queen Mother is. Look, get your bets on early and enjoy it because it's going to be a real treat.